Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced live stream. Today we have a new person on the show with us, Eric, which we're very excited about. Hi, I'm Daryl, an engineer on the MakeCode team, and I go by at Darzu on the forum.
And I'm Eric, a new member of the MakeCode team, dev on the MakeCode team, and I go by, I think it's E. Anders MS on the forum.
And I'm Joey at JWonderl on the forum.
I'm Richard everywhere.
I'm Shannon at Shakal on the forum.
And I'm Vivian at LibTruthful on the forum.
Awesome. After the long weekend, we thought we would get into the swing of things by making a game using our game idea generator. I think this started in the 10th stream and then has evolved since then. So the basic idea, this is a little arcade game where you just hit the buttons and it'll kind of stop one of these spinners from spinning, and we filled this out with a bunch of different categories of things, and as you click, it'll sort of generate a game idea for you. And so we'll probably generate a few of these, talk about them, and maybe pick our favorites. And if you're watching, feel free to suggest things as well. All right, so the first one we got is a monochrome heist set in space where you build things. Man, I kind of like the first three. I'm not sure how you have build things in a heist, but you could be building the explosive charges on a safe or something.
Explosive charges are for unbuilding things. It's a common misconception.
That's true. Thank you, Richard. What was I thinking?
Could be blocking off lasers so that you can safely walk through. So you're mirrors or something.
Mm-hmm.
Could be building models of the things that you are stealing to leave in their wake.
Foraging.
Yeah. Does anyone want to take notes on which of these just these 4 words, and then I'll maybe generate a few, and then we can also talk about. Yeah.
I'll write them down.
Sweet. Let's generate a few more. Okay. So got that. So side scroller heist. Man, this is a theme. Set in a school, single button. So we've already done a school single button game.
I could have sworn we've done 3 school games. I feel like this is the setting we get the most for some reason.
Yeah, we get a lot of school. All right, maybe we won't do a school one, then we'll just veto that one.
Summer vacation, no more school.
Medieval quest, castle.
Like
wow, very on theme.
Yeah.
Dessert. Dessert. Oh, wow. So this could be I don't know, maybe you've got to prepare the royal banquet or something. You need to collect all the
ingredients. A Red Wall style adventure, which always ends in a feast with a bunch of cordials and things.
Yeah, we do like drawing critters. I like drawing critters, I think they're basically all going to come out the same if I'm drawing mice and stoats and stuff. But yeah, this is strong. I like the idea of a Red Wall theme. All right, let's do another one. Deserted, non-interactive castle with camouflage. Man, I'm not sure how I'd put that together. Let's go.
You're invading a castle dressed as a tapestry.
Yeah,
it's non-interactive, so it's more of a story.
Yeah, and it's deserted, so we'll think about that.
It doesn't need to be a story. It could also be just a procedurally generated thing.
Yeah,
Sumatory Dreams.
I haven't seen that. Is that procedurally generated art?
It was an old freeware game where basically physics-based sumo wrestlers would just fight each other, and you would just watch them, and they were all super clumsy and would fall down a bunch. Pretty entertaining.
Oh, I see. I kind of like it. All right, let's do one more, and then let's pick our favorite. So monochrome farming on an island. We're featuring a sidekick. So
Wilson.
That's pretty strong.
yeah, we could definitely do that. Monochrome always makes things a little easier, I feel like.
We have done a lot of farming games recently.
I love farming, but we have done a lot of farming games. Okay. I don't know about you guys. I'm sort of feeling Redwall. What do you guys think?
I like the idea of ending Garden Jam month with a game about desserts.
Ooh,
opposite of vegetables.
Yeah, I guess we could take it from the other way, which would be like doing a kingdom based on that Mario Party level where everything is made out of cakes.
Oh, yeah. I
That was always my favorite of the Mario Party maps.
don't remember that one, actually. Is it in the newest Mario Party?
Yeah, I think it's been in a bunch of them. I think it was in the first one.
I don't think I played that one, or at least I don't remember it. But I'll take your word for it. Sounds good. All right, so I think we'll go with what was it? It was medieval castle quest dessert, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Does everyone feel good about that?
I like it.
All right, let's do that. So I'm gonna go start a new project. Stream. Oh, geez, what is this? Like 60?
We've already done 60, I'm pretty sure. Something above
Yeah,
60.
I'll look it up. Give me a second.
60 something probably.
61. it looks
61.
like.
61. Okay, awesome. So placeholder name. We'll figure that out at the end. So I'm creating a new project. So this week we're still on beta. So we're using MakeCode Arcade beta. We're about to release beta in the next week or two, and so it's a fun way for us to kind of show what's coming up, and also if any kind of issues or corner cases come up, it's a nice way to catch those. All right, so let's think here. So I'm gonna just brainstorm a little bit in a comment. So we want a castle, back quest, medieval, mid. Yeah. Geez, how do you spell medieval? It's
I
not
before E.
I-E?
Is it MIDEVAL?
There's an I.
I-E.
There's an I in there.
I-E.
I before
There you
E
go,
except
okay.
after
Cool.
C.
There we go.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay, so and featuring dessert. All right, so we could have some characters that we could have would be like if we want to go Redwall style, we could have like mice and shrews. We could also have stoats and what were the other badgers?
Moles,
Very important.
badgers, otters,
Badgers,
rabbits.
moles, rabbits.
Badgers don't live in the Redwall Abbey, though.
That's
Badgers
true.
live in Salamanderstron.
There
Yeah.
was at least one badger who lived in Redwall for a while. Trying to remember what its name was.
Visiting badger. I don't know.
They're like the very powerful good guys that you pull out when all is lost.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been like 20 years since I've read these though. Let's see, mice, shrews, stoats, moles. Oh, what am I thinking? Ferret. I don't remember how to spell. Yeah. Ferret. Okay, so lots of characters. I don't feel confident drawing most of these, but could definitely draw rabbits. I could try. I think a shrew would be more exciting than a mouse, especially so you can tell it apart from like a ferret stoat thing. Badgers sound kind of fun. Okay, so
real quick, Constance the badger lived inside of Redwall Abbey.
All right.
awesome. Yes. Okay, so there's a famous sword in Redwall.
The sword of Martin the Warrior.
Yeah, sort of, Martin the Warrior. Maybe we're getting into copyright territory. I don't really know. We'll say
We certainly are.
the fighter.
It's a fan work.
Let's see. Yeah, so let's think of what quest we want. So we know that our setting is a castle. Well, let's stretch this and say it's gonna be an abbey. It's not gonna be the castle. I think an abbey is a very good setting. Okay, so what kind of quest do we want, and how does this relate to dessert? So it could be the dessert is just the thing you get at the end is like a cutscene.
You could be going to get like the crucial ingredient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool quest. Going to get ingredients.
Could be delivering invitations.
Yeah, I like that. It could be. Let's see. What's the conflict? I wonder, or do we need any?
Maybe the dessert turned evil and is trying to attack. But that's not a quest. That's like scariness.
Are there any? I'm not familiar with Redwall. Is there?
Maybe that you're trying to get the.
Are there any sort of darker characters that might come in and take the dessert?
Yeah, definitely. The stoats and the ferrets are always trying to take over.
Weasels.
That's right.
Weasels, crows. I think they were bad news.
Crows.
Also fish.
But it could just be. Yeah, instead of going against an enemy, which was always kind of an aspect I didn't really like for Redwall.
Mm-hmm.
It could be you're trying to get the strawberry or something that goes on top of the cake, and so they're leading a quest to just go get the final ingredient.
Yeah.
The final strawberry.
Or the quest is making dessert. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be a cooking game. Cooking's like a quest in many ways. All right, so I think we've got some ideas going. So let's see. I think I'll have a hero character. I think some of the setting elements we're gonna want. Let's have maybe a kitchen, maybe like a garden, or I think you maybe want like the abbey walls or something.
Is there like maybe a banquet room?
Yeah. Something like that. Okay, this is quite a lot I've signed myself up for, so maybe I won't do all of these things. Let's start by drawing our hero, and I think in the Redwall universe, the hero is generally a mouse. Is that true?
No, it varies.
It varies.
Arn the Warrior was a mouse. So was the Matthias from the first book.
Mm-hmm.
It skews heavily towards mice and squirrels.
That's true. Squirrels. I forgot about squirrels. I think I'm gonna set a green backdrop before this game. It's a little strong, but I always thought of the abbey and the surrounding area as just very lush. Okay. Now let's create our hero character. And yes, a kind player. Okay, so let's see. I've drawn a lot of rabbits. I haven't drawn a squirrel yet. Maybe I'll try my hand at drawing a squirrel. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see here.
Interesting color choice off the bat.
Yeah. Well, sort of. It kind of looks like a duck, honestly. But let's work with this a little bit.
I see the bushy tail, though. It's coming together.
Yeah, I got the bushy tail. Let's see. I think what I want to do is lift it up a little bit so that I can get some legs, and this could be sort of cartoonishly large head, maybe. Let's have the little legs, and maybe little arms this way. Maybe I'll trim that down. Head is too big, and snout goes out too far. I think that sort of looks like a squirrel.
I think you need pointy ears, and then
Yes, definitely pointy ears.
You can just do one ear. It's kind of, you only have one eye.
That's true. That's true. Sort of a sideways looking squirrel. Okay, so let me think about color. So, I mean, classic squirrel color is also brown, and since we're using a different background color, we could actually use this as, for sort of highlights on the squirrel. I think the arms need to go up. Let me do that. Sort of a squirrel.
We could have a forearm squirrel.
What is it? A Machamp? Machamp squirrel?
I think this squirrel might work.
oh yeah, look at that guy.
Buttons. Yeah.
Nice.
He's totally a squirrel.
Good enough for now. Okay, so we've got our hero squirrel. I like to name our characters. Eric, what's the first name that pops to your head?
Eric.
Oh my gosh. Sparkles.
Sparkles. I like it. We got Sparkles. Sort of on theme, for the recent fireworks and stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, Sparkle's a squirrel. Let me set a few setting pieces. So I think maybe we'll start off in the kitchen, and then one of the cooks will be like, "We need a strawberry," and then you have to venture forth through the forest, and maybe you have to climb some trees and search for the strawberry. And maybe crows are trying to harass you or something. I don't know why the strawberry would be in trees. Maybe something malicious put them there.
Well, they're tree-sized to squirrels, but I am saying this is a little bit ambitious, I think.
Yeah, this does seem a little ambitious. Yeah. Okay, I need to come up with gameplay. I think that's the core thing. So, what gameplay do we want? So we could have finding a hidden thing. Other thing we could have is just platformer, survive, jumping around.
How about you're defending the strawberry while it finishes growing and crows are coming at it?
Yeah, I like that. Okay, and what we could do is just, the squirrel starts off with a strawberry nearby, and then maybe monologues for a little bit to explain to the player kind of what's going on. I sort of like that idea. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I'm gonna add a strawberry. So I'm gonna say set tile map, and then let's draw a whoops. Go into my tiles, hit plus, gonna create. Oh, actually, in the gallery we have an awesome strawberry. So let me get that real quick. So in the sprite gallery, I know that we've got a strawberry. It's a good strawberry. And I'm going to select this. So you can transfer in beta and beyond. You can transfer sprites into the tile map by selecting them, hitting Control-C or Command-C on a Mac, and then going back into the tile map to the custom tile that you're working on, and then Control-V to paste. And now you've brought over some of your other art. Okay, so we've got a strawberry. Let's put that down somewhere. And I think I'm maybe going to modify this a little bit so it looks like it's sort of growing. And I think what I'm going to do for that is, let's see, so the ground. So I've got, this is the ground color, or no, this is the ground color.
Here's an idea, Daryl. You could make it so that just that stem goes off to the side, and then put another tile on the side, which is just like the plant going into the dirt. So it would be two tiles. You have the strawberry, and then you just leave it basically as is. And then you have the thing going into the dirt.
I like.
You won't have to.
Yeah, let's do that. So I'm extending the stem, trying to maintain some of the shading that was there. And so that's going off to one side. And then on the other side, I'm going to, create a new tile. And let's see, which tile was that? That was like a couple from the top. Yeah, the second from the top. Go here. And now I'm going to have, the stems kind of coming down. There's some leaves here. And then we're going to have kind of a mound of dirt around as well. Let's put some.
This screen is the background color, right?
And that. Oh shoot! Yeah, maybe I'll change the background color. Good call. Do something like that. Let's fill this in. Actually, I think we could do a little bit more shading. And maybe the stem just a little bit thicker there. A little darker. Okay, so let me think about background color. Good call, Joey. So if we have these like that, then you've got your strawberry bush. And let's set the background color. Oh, and we don't need this guy anymore. Let's set the background color. I think this is a good standard background color. I think I'm going to change my squirrel colors a little bit. If I do this, though, instead of brown there, I'll probably do this.
Shannon, in your experience growing strawberries, how realistic does this plant look?
This strawberry is so much more beautiful than any strawberry I've ever grown.
So I'm thinking that what could happen is the strawberry sort of like, can take damage and then also like heal back up maybe over time. So you're sort of like defending it. So I can think of two different ways to represent that. One is I could have different tiles for like how injured the strawberry is. I could also have like a health bar, and just do it that way. Health bar is probably the easiest and clearest, and yeah, I kind of like that. So maybe I'll do that. But first, I'm going to move the strawberry kind of more down center in the screen.
An easy way you could do it. Well, no, we should do the health bar first. But later, if we have more time, it could like change color. So like it starts out like green or whatever, and then like ripens.
Yeah.
Is that how blueberries are made?
It
turns blue?
I believe that Joey is just saying it just keeps cycling colors till eventually it hits blue, and I guess changes shape when you get a blueberry.
Yes. So I'm going to add the status bar extension. So I think if I just search status bar.
You have to do j1Daryl/pxt.
So if you go to, so we want to add this extension, and we happen to know the name of it. So if you search for this in the search dialog, it'll pop up that extension. Later, if you just search status bar, that might show up. We'll have to, we'll need to add that, but it's not there right now. Okay, so if you click status bar, you will get this extension that Joey made, which is super handy. So extensions are a way that you can have more blocks in Arcade to work with, instead of just the standard categories of things you see here. So now we see the new status bar category here, and I'm going to just drag out this first block that is going to be the let's call this strawberry health. And let's create it, I think that height and width to start. And I'm going to attach it to my, actually I can't attach it to the sprite because there is no strawberry sprite.
So it is just a sprite though. So you can call place on top of tile, and you can just place it on top of the tile that is the strawberry, and then maybe move its Y by a bit.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So yes, I'm going to go to the scene category, and I'm going to say place on top of random. So this strawberry, the health bar that you see over here, you can't really see it because the squirrel and stuff is in the way. But this is it's just a sprite, like Richard was saying. So we can use all the normal things we can with sprites. And so I'm going to place it on top of the strawberry. And then, like Richard was saying, let's just budge that a little bit. So I'm going to change the strawberry health Y by -30. That might be too much. Oh yeah, it's way too much. -10. Sort of just playing around to see kind of what looks right. A little bit more. Okay, so now we have a health bar associated with our strawberry. I think I want the player to sort of always be on top, so I'm going to set this property called the Z index on sparkles. So sparkles, set the Z depth to 10. So Z depth controls, how close or far away from the camera you are. So higher numbers closer to the player's perspective. I guess health bars are pretty high up there. Actually, no, I guess it is normal for
the Z depth of the health bar.
I could. Maybe we want the health bar to be on top, actually. Like, usually things like health bars and stuff are on top of other sprites, because they're almost part of the HUD of the player. Okay, so let's get on with the gameplay. So could it just have a bunch of crows coming from the side, attacking the strawberry? Trying to think how to make this interesting instead of just,
the crows could have an attack pattern. So like they fly in and you can't hit them when they're like above the ground, but they swoop in. Mm-hmm. And if they're swooping, then you can hit them or something.
Oh, yeah. I like it. You could do that. I'm trying to think how. So are you thinking
are you imagining like a side scroller, Shannon?
No, the crows come in at you. And then they're like on the screen so you can see them, but they're not going to, you can't attack them and they also can't hit you when they're like in a certain state. Mm-hmm. And then when they go into like an attack state, they can hit you and you can also hit them or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh. So maybe they'd be like very small to represent that they're like high up or something.
Yeah, it could be like a shadow.
Oh, they're shadows, and then the actual bird could swoop in. Yeah. Another way I was sort of thinking, I really like. I think this is beyond what we can do in the stream, but there's a Boyd's behavior, which is like you basically have like a swarm flocking behavior of the crows. That could be a really fun mechanic to explore, but I think probably too much to get into now.
Someone should make a Boyd's extension for.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try to do that. That sounds fun.
I think that'd be very fun. That is very charming. And there's just
one on the form.
Oh, really?
Oh, there is. Okay.
Just implementation of it.
Yeah, but that's just like a game that doesn't do anything. So it would be cooler to have it as just like you can say these sprites are a swarm now.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you set the few parameters, how close they are and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. So,
could move the strawberry maybe to the bottom and then have the crows come in from the top in the swooping pattern.
Yeah. I'm thinking that actually side scroller perspective is probably the easiest here, because I think if it was sort of top down, then you have to sort of guard all the sides, and you just don't have a lot of screen space to like sort of demonstrate or warn the player that the crow's like coming in and doing something. Yeah. Okay. So, let's see.
What's the attacking going to be, I guess?
Just reaching. If they reach the strawberry, then it takes damage, and so.
No, I mean, how are you dissuading the?
I think you just sort of like you jump at the crow maybe, and then like if you touch the crow, it'll fly away. It's like deterred, and then it'll come back later. And so
yeah, I think if we're doing the swooping thing, it might make sense to make this more of kind of a platformer.
Yeah.
With like the thing, because then you get the very vertical interaction. And there's also kind of like a little timing mechanic that you have to know when to jump to intercept the bird in the air.
Yeah. All right, I'll try platformer. So let's.
I don't know. How does everyone else feel about that?
I like it.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, so I'm going to create just a few kind of basic platforms. I think I'm going to use still sort of this dirt kind of looking thing, and then maybe the grass is just sort of something like that, and make this a little jagged here. Okay, so let's say we've got oops, I don't seem to be able to place my tiles. That's interesting.
You're on the marquee tool.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I need the pencil tool, and then I can place some platforms. So let's shift all of this down. And so, the main action will be sort of down here, and there'll be a bit of a platform for the user to be on. And then, maybe they can jump up. Maybe that's too high. I'd say they can jump so high that could be a useful way to reach the crows. Actually, to keep this simple, I'm just going to do this all on the flat line. So then that way we can really kind of time and hone how the crow swooping in works and the player jumping. Okay, so I pivoted this to a platformer. So let's set the background color to like a sky color. And we've done platforms a few times. So some of the basic things that we want are, I'm going to set the acceleration of sparkles in the y direction to a positive number, something like 300. And so the way gravity works is it exerts an acceleration. It exerts a force which causes an acceleration on things to fall. So that'll just be ever present. And I'm gonna do a camera follow sparkles, so that when sparkles falls down, we can follow sparkles. And we fell right through everything, so I forgot to make these walls. I'm gonna go use the wall tool, make this all wall, and there we go. So now we're falling down. So move with buttons. I want to not have a velocity in the Y component when moving with buttons. Otherwise, sparkles could just kind of fly through the air regardless of gravity. So the coloring on these tiles, I think, looks kind of bad. I'm gonna just try adding some darker colors down here. Maybe that'll look a little better. I don't know. And maybe some specks around. Sort of feels like desert tiles. Doesn't really feel like a place where strawberries normally grow, but this is a special strawberry. Okay, so we've got our hero down here. So now we need to add some jumping. So I think what we'll do is when we jump, we apply a velocity to sparkles. That is going to be a velocity in the y direction, and this will be, I don't know, -200.
It should be the square root of 2 times the jump height times the gravity.
Square root of the
2 times the number of pixels you want to jump. So
right.
Times the gravity.
Times gravity.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just build this math real quick. So we've done this a couple times. So square root, multiply a bunch of things together, and so gravity. Let's make a variable, and let's set gravity to 300. And let's put gravity in here. And let's say that we'll do a jump height. We're going to set the jump height to 32. I think that's 2 tiles.
Yeah.
And we'll do jump height in here. So I want it in there. So one thing you'll notice about the beta is that we have these really helpful little indicators when dragging things around that makes building these math expressions just a lot easier than it used to be. So square root of all this, and then I need to make it negative. We can do that with a subtract.
You could just, yeah.
Subtract.
I was going to say you can make the 2 negative, but that's not true.
Because the square root, yeah. Okay, so now we jump kind of like that, and let's say I think I want the gravity maybe slightly more intense, and so let's see how this feels. Then, yeah, that seems good for now, and we'll sort of tweak this as the enemies come along. So this is a useful formula to know when making platformers. Okay, so let's have the crows. I think what I want to do is we could just over time have the crows, or we could always have a fixed number of crows just sort of circling at the top, and then maybe they decide to attack differently. I think for now what I'm going to do is I can just have crows spawn over time, and I'm just going to work on their sort of attack pattern, and then once we get the pattern down, we can worry about how they get onto the screen and how many they are and things like that. So let's have something like, every 2 seconds we're going to create a crow, and I'm going to create a function for this to sort of just organize a little bit. So we'll create a crow. I'm going to call create a crow, and let's draw a crow. I'm going to rename this to crow. And these are going to be enemies. Okay, so crows, mostly black, and let's see, so basically, so they're going to have kind of a front, let me think. It's going to be hard to convey the wings and everything, I think, but let's try. And then they've got, some talon, some claws. Okay, I don't have the head at all figured out. Let's see,
I always draw my bird's beak first. I find that everything comes from the beak.
Yeah.
Crows have black beaks, just to
state
that. That's kind of hard though. Yeah
everything sort of looks
Maybe dark purple?
black here. That's true. Yeah, maybe I'll do some dark
Could
purple.
be red with the carnage of prior captured strawberries.
Made a cape out of the strawberry.
Could do that. Yeah, I kind of
Don't want it to be too gruesome though, but yeah.
I mean, it's strawberries, so. Okay, so I'm gonna try doing a little bit of kind of shading. I guess it would be the top would sort of be maybe shaded. Sort of this other purple.
There do exist blackbirds that have orange beaks. I've found a picture of one, so I think
Like
you can just say it's one of those.
Yeah. So I think I kind of like how this looks there a little bit. What I'm gonna do is actually, does anyone remember what is the size of the screen? It's like 8 by.
It's 10 by 8.
10 by 8. Okay, so I'm gonna just say this is screen height, and then I'm going to move this down here. So we're just kind of at the bottom. And that way I can sort of control things. And I'm actually not going to have the camera follow Sparkles. So it's only going to be kind of one screen worth of stuff going on. So yeah, I think that looks nice. Okay, so we got a crow. I'm actually kind of happy with how that turned out. So I think the crow will start up here, or maybe sort of off screen. Yeah, I guess 0, 0. And then not quite sure how I'm going to do the swooping pattern. So what I could do is
reverse the gravity, calculate the jump height, and then just make them jump.
Right. So so I think what I need to do, what basically Richard is saying, is we can use gravity and velocity as our friends here. So I'm just going to give him a steady velocity in the x that's, I don't know, 20. And then I'm going to give him an initial velocity in the y that is, I don't know, 200. And then some acceleration in the y that's going to be like negative 200 or something. We'll see how this plays. So this should sort of make a bit of a curve. So yeah, that's that's not too bad.
That looks very cool.
Kind of like how they swoop. So I think we need more x velocity, and I think well, actually, so I think we want to slow down all these other things. So 100.
You kind of nailed that VY. I think.
Oh, you like it?
Well, it's the exact one to get the jump height you need. So I'm pretty sure you got it like exactly right.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, I mean that's a nice attack angle. It slows down a little bit, gives the player a little bit more time at the end there. So if we speed this up on the X, then they should get closer to the strawberry. Yeah, so maybe what we do is we have a bunch of different sort of attack patterns. So I could, if I do just a little bit more, let's see if they reach the strawberry. So kind of swooping down. Actually, they're a little off target, but they are like swooping in such a way that they would be grabbing and carrying the strawberry up, And I think this is reasonable. Okay, so let me think. I think what I want is maybe the crows can come from either direction. I'm trying to think how this becomes not just completely predictable. So, and maybe I'll have other patterns. Like there could be another one where it sort of comes straight down from the top.
Maybe they don't swoop as closely when the squirrel is nearby.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just make it come from both sides, and then also make it so that you can't touch the strawberry or it gets hurt. And I wonder if that would be enough of a challenge to be avoiding the strawberry and also intercepting the crows.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, so let's have a so the critical thing is just going to be this VX if we want to change sides, the VX and the position. So I'm going to use a if-else block, and then I'm going to go to math. I'm going to say, actually logic. There is a
it's in math.
Chance. It's in math.
At the bottom.
Last block.
Percent chance. So let's say there's a 50% chance to do this, the normal way. And then there's also a 50% chance to do this, backwards. And so here we can set the x velocity backwards, and then the x position will be all the way at this edge, which is 160. And the other thing that I'm going to want to do is I'm going to set the actually, I don't need to do that. So in the images category, there is a flip horizontally, and what I'm going to do is flip the image of our crow so that it looks like it's coming from the other direction. Okay, so I think that will work. So so that guy, that's interesting. I don't know why that one bounced. I think it has to do with the fact that maybe we need like 159. I think it's having a little bit of trouble with the walls here, because it's sort of starting inside of the walls, because the outside of a tile map is sort of has walls. Interesting. Wonder why.
I think it might be. Yeah, I think it's just that you're clipping it in. So you might have to.
Yeah.
Spawn them so that they just appear instead of coming off the edge, which looks a little worse, but
yeah,
it would work.
What about making your tile map 2 blocks wider so they can appear off screen?
Yeah,
but then
that works too.
Yeah, that should work. Let's do that. So X, let's add another 2 tiles there, and then let's shift all of this over 1. And the tricky thing is going to be the camera. So camera, let's center camera at, let's say,
it should be 96.
96? Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Oh no, a little less than that. Subtract 8. 88.
Or I think, I think this is pretty good. You're saying 8 less?
Yeah.
We can do that. 88.
Half a tile.
Oh no, I guess that was right. I guess it's just always been off-centered, and I didn't notice it until we did this little.
Why don't we need to set the Y?
So the Y.
Oh no, I know what's happening. The relative to camera thing is turned on the status bar. Is that it, Joey?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you need to turn off the relative to camera flag on the status bar.
Yes.
So that'll be in the sprites category.
Oh yeah.
So the relative to camera flag is just this nifty little thing that we have for HUD elements, where it makes it so that it won't scroll with the rest of the world. But because we're recentering the camera, we need to make sure that it's turned off for this sprite, or else now it's not centered, or else it'll be drawn according to the original camera position, or the opposite of that. I don't remember. If you gave me a piece of paper.
So I think these things need to start at 62, and then these need to come in at around 160 or 16. Sorry. So let's see. So it's basically perfect for those.
Once in a while, he doesn't go.
I think you want
horizontal.
the Y's to be lower too.
Yeah, let's set these to like half a tile, just so we don't have issues with the top of the screen. Okay, so that worked. That worked. Yeah. I think I'm going to shift these guys over. Actually, so what I could do is from the left, they could just be slightly harder. Make them a little bit faster. Actually, I don't know if that is harder or not. They're just a little bit faster.
One other thing real quick, Daryl. Could you just hold the left button?
Yeah. Oh, we lost a squirrel. Yeah, so good point. So Richard is saying that I should use the stand screen. So this is a really handy block for Sparkles that just says, don't let it run Sparkles, get off camera. So now
that was not going to be my suggestion, but this is much better than what my suggestion was.
Okay. Yeah. So this works. So we've got crows coming in for the strawberry, and I like Richard's idea of like the squirrel also shouldn't be able to hit this the strawberry. So one thing I'm going to do real quick is that right now I can double and triple jump, and we kind of want to fix that so that you can't just jump endlessly in the air. And so I'm going to say only if the sparkle's velocity in the y direction is not that one, is 0.
No, that won't work, unfortunately.
I know
I think you wanted to.
But this gets pretty close. So, right. So most of the time, this stops you from double jumping. But if you time it just right at the peak of your jump, you often will be able to double jump. Is that what you're going to say, Richard?
I was going to say there's an is hitting wall in a direction block in the scene category that'll tell you if you're on the ground or not.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, in this case, I'm really trying to double jump, and it's not really working. So I might keep that, but actually in this game, it's also, Richard's right. It's very easy to just say, whoops, not that one. Keep duplicating it. There's just a block that is hitting wall, and the platforms we are on are walls. So is Sparkles hitting wall bottom? And in that case, Sparkles is allowed to jump. Okay, so I've got just a few minutes, so I'm going to just try and wrap up the gameplay going kind of fast. So I'm going to have these crows doing their thing, and I'm going to say when the crows are off screen, we are going to delete them. And we can do that by saying auto destroy on. So now the crows, when they go off screen, we won't be able to see them anymore. That just helps performance. Okay, so when we're going to need to do some overlap code. So when the player overlaps a strawberry, we're going to change the strawberry health by, let's say -5. I don't remember what the default value is. And so, the player, well, that's really fast. So let's say, a lot less than that. So the player hits the strawberry, then you injure it, and then I'm going to have the player say, let's have Sparkle say, don't trample the strawberry. Because
who is Sparkle saying this to?
It's a note to themselves, like, oh, darn it, I forgot.
Forgot to don't trample the strawberry. Okay, so this way the player learns that they shouldn't trample strawberry. Okay, so if a enemy overlaps the strawberry, then also change the health by some amount, and then I'm also going to change the kind of the enemy so that
you have to. It honestly looks pretty good just with the if you do it that way, you would have to have 100 crows hit the strawberry before it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to change it to a bigger value and then also change the kind. But yeah, I you're right. I think this works fine. And I think we'll have the enemy say, "Caw!" when they hit the strawberry. And that's right. It's going to trigger many times, isn't it?
That's fine. It just increases the time it stays on by a little bit.
Okay, so now we need a way to defend the strawberry. And so we're going to say on sprite of kind player overlaps enemy. We're going to have the player say, shoo. How do you just spell like that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think you should also have the crow say "caw" but with a question mark.
Let's do it. And we're gonna have the enemy say "caw." Yes, and now we need the. So I think what I'm going to do is just no matter what the crow was doing, we're going to set its velocity in the y direction to be, negative 50. And let's just see how that looks.
No exploding crows. Okay.
Ah.
I like it.
Oh no, this is very hard.
Yeah, I think the right one needs to be tweaked a little bit because the right ones overlap for a much longer period of time than the left ones do.
I can definitely, shoo them away.
Should you change the kind when you overlap so that they don't eat after they have been shooed?
So what I could do, so if the velocity, I don't think they can eat unless they're already at the level of the, like there, I guess. Right, and okay, so what I could do is also set, we're just about out of time, so I'm just going to do this one last thing, and it's either going to work or it's not, but I'm going to reverse their x velocity, so they come out the opposite way they were coming in. So let's say other sprite, let's say its velocity in the x direction, and let's just see.
This is going to be interesting.
Bouncing them out.
Yeah, they're.
It's gonna fire every frame. So I don't know if you saw the one crow that was sticking to you.
Okay, let's leave that. So I'm gonna say if status bar is 0, then we are going to lose the game. And otherwise, what I'm going to say is on game update, every 500 milliseconds, we are going to get a little bit of health back. So the strawberry kind of, healing, growing over time. And so, shoo. So I'm able to, trample it a little bit, but it sort of gets that back. And then...
I think if you set a countdown and then on countdown end win, then you have everything.
Yes. Okay, let's start a countdown. And then on countdown end, we're going to copy paste this and say win. Okay, what do we name it?
Don't catch my strawberry.
That's strawberries for the feast.
Yeah, sure.
That was a joke. Okay. I like it. So that is the squirrel shouting, and then the crow giving a response.
The crows are confused because it's a strawberry, and clearly they want to eat it. All right, thanks everyone so much for tuning in. That was, we didn't get too far. I think the brainstorming took quite a while, but I kind of like the attack pattern of the crows. I think that's a fun aspect. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.